He was the man with the biggest smile in reggae, a voice that could shake the mountains of Jamaica and a laugh that could fill every room with light. His name was Jacob Miller, the smiling lion of reggae. Before Bob Marley became a global icon, before reggae conquered the world, there was Jacob, a wild spirit, a musical soul, and a voice like thunder wrapped in sunshine. But behind that laughter was struggle, fire, and a destiny that ended too soon. This is the story of the man who turned joy into rebellion, rhythm into revolution, and left a legacy that still roars across generations. Welcome to the untold life of Jacob Miller, the smiling lion of reggae. He was born on May 4, 1952, in Mandeville, Jamaica. Raised by his mother in the countryside, Jacob's early life was filled with the sounds of nature, rustling trees, gospel choirs, and laughter. Even as a child, his voice carried power, deep, soulful, and raw. He wasn't just singing songs, he was singing life. Growing up, music became his refuge and his calling. At just 13 years old, he moved to Kingston to live with relatives, and his life took a new turn. The streets of Kingston were alive with ska, rocksteady, and the birth of reggae. And in those streets, young Jacob would soon find his stage. His first mentor was the legendary Augustus Pablo, a teenage musical prodigy known for his haunting melodica sound. Pablo recognized something special in Jacob, a fearless voice full of emotion and energy. Together, they recorded Keep On Knocking, Jacob's first single and the start of a journey that would define reggae forever. Though the song didn't make big waves initially, it marked the rise of a unique artist who sang from his soul. Jacob's family always remembered him as full of life. At home, he was the clown, the heart, the energy that never stopped. He had a contagious laugh and a spirit that could turn sadness into celebration. Even when times were tough, he found light through humor and song. His family didn't have much money, but they had music, and music became their wealth. Every evening, Jacob would gather friends, sing under the stars, and dream of reaching the world through his voice. He once told a friend, "Me nah want just sing fi fun, me want sing fi life." That was his truth. He sang to express life itself. By the early 1970s, reggae was evolving, and Jacob Miller was ready. He joined Inner Circle, a young band blending roots reggae with soul, funk, and rock. Their chemistry was instant, explosive, and revolutionary. Jacob's energy on stage was unmatched. He wasn't just performing, he was preaching joy. With his big smile, wild dance moves, and booming vocals, he became the face of reggae celebration. Songs like Tenement Yard, Forward Jar Jar Children, and Tired Fay Lick Weed in a Bush became instant hits. Jacob and Inner Circle became one of Jamaica's biggest acts, dominating the airwaves and the stage. While Bob Marley carried the banner of consciousness, Jacob carried the banner of joy, the laughter and love side of reggae's revolution. Jacob Miller's performances were unforgettable. When he stepped on stage, he owned it. Whether in Kingston, London, or Miami, fans felt his power instantly. He had a unique way of connecting with people, sometimes dancing wildly, sometimes breaking into jokes mid-performance, and then suddenly hitting a high note that sent chills down the spine. He didn't just sing, he lived every lyric. In every show, he turned music into magic, and the crowd into one big family. One of his most famous moments was at the One Love Peace concert in 1978, where Jacob performed with pure passion, spreading messages of unity and freedom. His smile that night became an icon, the symbol of reggae's warmth and strength. Jacob's personality was larger than life. He was the type of man who could make anyone laugh, even in pain. He had a joke for every moment and a smile for every soul. But he also had deep faith and a burning belief in humanity. He sang of love, peace, and righteousness, always with joy. He was known to show up late to shows but leave everyone speechless once he arrived. Producers called him a hurricane of charm. He was unpredictable, spontaneous, and full of creative fire. Even his peers admired him. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer all saw him as a rare kind of energy. Jacob was a bridge between reggae's roots and its spirit. But behind the laughter, Jacob carried the weight of a world that misunderstood his joy. He sang about poverty, injustice, and marijuana legalization, but always through positivity. He believed that music could heal the nation. His track Healing of the Nation became a cultural anthem. He also recorded Dread Dread and Peace Treaty Special, songs that captured Jamaica's political struggles in the 1970s. Jacob's laughter was his weapon, his way to fight darkness with light. Even when Jamaica faced violence and division, he sang for unity and hope. In 1980, Jacob Miller's career was reaching new heights. He had just signed a deal to tour with Bob Marley and the Wailers. Together, they were planning to conquer the world. The future looked brighter than ever, but tragedy struck. On March 23, 1980, Jacob Miller was involved in a fatal car accident in Kingston. He was only 27 years old. The reggae world was shocked. Jamaica mourned. A voice so full of life had been silenced too soon. At his funeral, thousands gathered to celebrate his life. There were tears, but also music, laughter, and dancing, because that's what Jacob would have wanted. His friends carried his memory not in sorrow, but in song. Bob Marley himself was devastated, saying even after his passing, Jacob Miller's voice refused to fade. His songs continued to echo from the hills of Jamaica to the clubs of London and the beaches of Brazil. The smiling lion had left a roar that time could never silence. After his death, Inner Circle made a sacred promise to keep his message alive. They continued touring the world, singing the songs Jacob made famous. Each show was a tribute, a celebration of the man who brought laughter and light wherever he went. His collaboration with Augustus Pablo became legendary, inspiring generations of roots reggae lovers. Musicians studied his vocal delivery, that effortless blend of strength, joy, and soul. It was impossible to imitate, yet impossible to forget. Jacob's music became a foundation for reggae's global expansion. When artists like Steel Pulse, Third World, and Black Uhuru carried reggae across continents, they carried a piece of Jacob Miller's fire with them. His voice was sampled, remixed, and remembered by artists across genres, from reggae to hip-hop, from world music to pop. Reggae historians called him the Joyful Warrior, a man who brought balance to reggae, mixing seriousness with laughter and message with movement. His songs like Tenement Yard, Healing of the Nation, and Forward Jar Jar Children remain timeless anthems, songs that speak of community, resilience, and faith. Every year, new generations discover his music, and even those who never saw him live say the same thing. They can feel his spirit in every note. Jacob Miller didn't just influence artists. He shaped reggae's identity, the sound of freedom, wrapped in a smile. When Jacob Miller passed in 1980, he wasn't a millionaire. He lived simply, not chasing riches, but purpose. At the time of his death, his estimated net worth was modest, mostly from performances, album sales, and touring with Inner Circle. But in truth, Jacob Miller's wealth couldn't be measured in dollars. It was measured in something far greater: love, legacy, and laughter. Over the years, his music has generated millions in royalties and sales. Inner Circle's success continued to rise, and every time his songs play, his energy earns new life. More than money, Jacob left a cultural fortune. He helped define a movement, giving reggae its joyful side. He reminded the world that even revolution could come with a smile. His real treasure was the joy he brought to people, the hope he gave through his voice, and the happiness he spread through his music. Jacob Miller's impact is priceless, because he gave the world something no money could buy: pure, spiritual happiness through sound. Jacob Miller's story is one of light and legacy, a journey that began in the hills of Mandeville, rose through the streets of Kingston, and continues to echo across the world. He was more than a musician. He was a messenger, a man who sang for the poor, danced for the people, and laughed for the soul of Jamaica. In just 27 years of life, Jacob Miller achieved what many never do in a lifetime. He found his purpose and lived it with love. His smile became a symbol. His voice became a movement, his message timeless. To this day, when reggae drums roll, when laughter fills the studio, when joy meets consciousness, that's Jacob Miller, still with us. Those words remain true, because Jacob's music still breathes. In every record, every sound system, every celebration of reggae's power. As the sun sets over Kingston and the bass line of Tenement Yard hums through the air, you can almost hear him laughing, singing, smiling. A lion whose roar will never fade. Jacob Miller, the smiling lion of reggae, gone too soon, but never gone from our hearts. To the rhythm of love, to the beat of the people, the smiling lion lives forever, in the heart of reggae. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep reggae documentaries and true artist stories.